Sound muted. Welcome, viewers, to another round of Star Motor Australian Championship brought to you by Slipstream. We're here now for round 8 at Watkins Glen International. We're running on the classic boot circuit, so we don't have the bus stop chicane on the back straight, and we are running on the boot section, which is the longer version of the track. With me tonight, as always, is Andrew Gaines. Andrew, how are you tonight?
Great, Trent. I think I finally recovered from the AEC Daytona 24 hour. Geez, it's taken me a long time to get over. But mate, back to SMAC. I mean, round 8, we're at the pointy end of the championship already. It just seems like we were there last week. This championship's gone really quick. Obviously, that helps with Christmas. We had two rounds that were non-point scoring rounds over Christmas and New Year's. But all the same, it's gone really, really quick.
It definitely has. Round 8, 4 more rounds to go after this one. We'll have a clearer picture of the championship after this round. Points updates will include drop rounds from this point on towards the end of the season. So we'll have a clearer idea where these guys actually sit. I've had a bit of a sneak peek at where it sits as of round 7 with drop rounds, and it's actually quite interesting and almost an expected result, I guess you could say, with two particular names at the top of the table. With the drop rounds included, so it's going to be a pretty nail-biting end of the season, I think.
Yeah, it's. I'm looking at the season standings right now without drop rounds, and it's not what I expect. But I think I know who you're talking about because those guys are not too far down the order. I guess everyone's talking about at the moment is the Formula Renault. What's your thoughts on that, mates? Any news, or you're just sort of going to find out what the car's like and maybe take a poll, see what the drivers want? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we're definitely, as organisers, we are looking at running the possibility of running the Formula Renault for next season. So we won't be SMAC, it could be FRAC instead. But again, that comes down to community opinion. We've always run SMAC for the drivers, so it's going to be based on their feedback. We could even look at the opportunity of mixed class racing with the two cars. So there's all sorts of options up in the air at the moment that we can certainly have a look at. And but yeah, it's pretty exciting to be getting a new open wheel car. Be interesting to see how the two cars compare. So keep an eye on the forums for week 13, and there could be some sort of a fun event using both cars or one of them, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it'd be. There's some awesome ideas floating around. You know, maybe a support race for the Formula Renault, which is a short sprint race, and then the feature race for SMAC for at least the first season until everyone gets used to the Formula Renault and they find out any bugs, or like you say, multi-class racing as well. Which having both cars, maybe we can put some weight on one of the cars to make it pretty similar to the other car, so we could have two, I guess, makes of car, but I guess a lot of possibilities.
Definitely. We've just got the checkered flag now in this practice session. Cars will be starting to grid up momentarily, and I'll be able to take you through some of the grid because we've got a 42 car field here tonight, and I'm not going to be able to get through everyone, unfortunately. Alright, we've got Michael McCabe, pole position. I think that could be his first for the series. Gary Hamilton in second. Benjamin Smith in third. We know he's quick. Craig Edwards, usual, up there in fourth place. Joshua Rogers in fifth position. Troy Burgess in sixth. Joshua Anderson in seventh. Lance Perkins eighth. Mitchell McLeod ninth. And Adam Newton in 10th place. We've got Michael Hammond, David Pegler, Josh Burden, Andrew Kiss, Hayden Dodman, Aaron Osborne, Richard Craig, Scott Goodman, Jason Vance, David Jellings, Michael Barron, he's returned to the series, Grant Hines, James Jones, Brock Creamer, Aaron Pearce, Philip Stoneman, Ben Daly Jr., Sean Watts, TJ Brown, Rob Gray, Lance Hawes, Jake Maloney, Joseph Alcamada, Mark Aspley, Phil Gadd, Bradley Matheson, Ben Wilkinson, Greg Sharp, Paul Smith, Sam McLeod, Reginald James, and Brendan Sue is at the rear of the grid. That's all of our drivers.
Yeah, interesting to see the grid actually. Just going through those names, you're looking at the top 15 of really fast drivers.
We have green light. Looks like our pole sitter's got a brilliant start as they head down to turn one. Huge field behind these guys.
Turn one's such a difficult turn to get right, lap after lap on this track. I really struggle with turn one. It's a really long straights here. A lot of draft will be playing this race. You see Gary Hamilton is taking #1 spot at the moment.
Looks like we've got a victim already. Jason Bentz is off to the side of the track. We'll see if we can find out what happened to him. We'll head back to live pictures.
It's a great track, this, isn't it, Trent? I mean, it's a favourite with most drivers, and it's a favourite with most cars to race around here. It's, yeah, I wouldn't say it's a overly technical track, but it just to produce some great racing, some close racing, and it's a track that you can pretty much be fast on, and the difference between the fast and slow drivers is pretty minimal.
That's true. It's nice and wide as well. It's quite flowing. It should allow some pretty good racing, as you've said. Drafts is obviously going to be pretty dependent, so it's going to be hard for anyone to make any sort of a break. So there'll be two minds. Some people hate the draft because they can't make the break, and some people will love it because it'll keep them in touch with a driver that might be slightly quicker than them. But looks like we've had a fairly clean, almost incident-free first lap, which is always a good sign. Gary Hamilton in lead. He started for second place. Michael McCabe dropped to second, and Benjamin Smith is third. These three guys look like they've had a little bit of a break from Josh Rogers and Craig Edwards in fourth and fifth place.
As we've seen before,
yeah. 3 wide coming into the carousel, I think it's called. And looks like Benjamin Smith's made that move stick up the inside.
Seen in many races before, the more these guys battle at the front, more opportunity for the guys behind to close the gap. So I guess in some instances they won't want to fight, but all those guys being the racers they are, they want the lead, so they're going to fight anyway. And you can already see it, the cars behind are starting to catch them.
That's exactly right. I'll try and have a look a bit further back in the pack. We've got Michael Barron making some moves. Pretty tight battle pack here. David Jellings, another GMT racing driver, back there. Pretty tight pack. Michael Barron must have had a bit of an incident there. He's just pulled over on the side of the road.
That's pretty unfortunate for Michael. He hasn't done a lot of racing of late, but he's really looking forward to getting back into this series. So it's pretty disappointing for him.
Let's see what happens with him. A little bit of contacts. He's just decided to pull off. Ben Smith out in front made a bit of a break compared to the rest of the field, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not, especially down this straight, whether this pack behind him catches him in the draft. Can I make a pass or not?
It's really interesting to see that. Obviously, you get caught in the draft, that's an advantage, but it can also slow you up when you're fighting with other cars. We don't see a lot of cars being early in this race, which I guess surprises me a little bit, because you can, I guess, get out of that traffic that's holding up if it is, and maybe make some gains. But we're not seeing many pits in the first couple of laps.
That's true, especially in the larger fields. If you're down the pack a little bit, making that early pit stop can actually save you quite a lot of time. Running clear air, obviously you won't get the draft, but you also don't have the cars in front of you that could be slowing you down. We do have a couple of takers. Richard Craig, who we know has speed, he's made a pit stop. Phil Gadd as well has also made a stop by the looks of it. And they're the two first guys on track that have made their stops.
It is easy when you're driving to get caught up in the moment. If you're having some really good battles and really enjoying yourself, you can, I guess, forget about the strategy part of it and just enjoy those battles. And it sort of takes your mind off when you should be pitting. When if you really thought about it, it might be better to pit. But you can really get caught up in these battles. And a lot of the drivers, I would say, are doing that. They're really enjoying themselves.
It looks like we've got a pretty long train of cars, so the top group certainly hasn't made any sort of a breakaway yet, and looks like everyone's running wide on turn 1, which is quite legal. There's no off-track life for doing that. Depending on the car.
there's a magic line around turn one, isn't there? If you can get that right, you can make your lap at turn one. Basically, you get it wrong, and the whole lap is not a good one.
It's certainly quite critical because it basically leads through the S's all the way up that long straight that we just saw the cars go through then. And,
we got someone with a blown engine there.
car slide sideways.
Oh, we've got a crash as well.
See if we can go back. It looks like Troy Burgess is the car with the blown engine.
Yeah, I think there was an accident trying to avoid him. Just really unfortunate for a few cars. Aaron Osborne is one of the casualties of that. He's still going, but he's got some pretty bad damage on his car.
Troy's he's got a fair bit of pace, so he'll be upset with blowing that engine. But he get a tow, and they do get a fast repair, so yeah, he'll get back to the pits. Fast repair, get back out in the race. Back up front, we've got Gary Hamilton back in the lead with Benjamin Smith in second. It's now a 1 second gap back to third place, Michael McCabe, but you do feel the draft about 1.5 seconds behind, so I don't know if it's enough to catch up, but they will get a bit of a draft, but these front two seem to have made a little bit of a mini breakaway at the moment.
Yeah, we've got a stack of cars sitting in the pits there, so I'll try and pick up who they are. Troy Burgess, of course, is in the pits. Hayden Dodman's in the pits. Jason Benson, I think we know. Joseph Falcomoda. So,
as we speak, as I mentioned earlier, that gap the front two had was over a second, and now it's closed completely back up again. With Michael McCabe just 7/10 off Gary Hamilton, or half a second off Gary Hamilton. Try and look back a little bit further in the field. We've got Mitchell McLeod here right in the middle of a huge battle pack. Got Craig Edwards, Josh Anderson, Adam Newton.
oh, we've got a crash.
Commentators cursed that one. I just had him on camera. Sorry about that, Mitchell. Not sure what happened there. I'll try and catch it. I don't like any of these camera angles. The cameras are too far away. Looks like he's just run wide, caught the fence there, and spun back across the track. So should have some pretty substantial damage. Luckily, he's right near the pits, so he should be able to take his pit stop, get his free repair, and he shouldn't lose too much time, hopefully.
A few costly errors in this race so far, taking out a couple of the big names. But, still a long way to go. Only lap 5 of 19, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yes, yep, 19 lap race tonight. 100 kilometres, which every SMAC race is. For any new viewers who might be watching the series, SMAC does 100 kilometre races, and it's a fixed setup. There's a few different setups that they use throughout the season depending on the track, and but their starting fuel is limited, so they are forced to make a
Joshua K. Rogers in third, Michael McCabe in fourth. Joshua Anderson was I think he was last week's winner. He's in fifth place. Just going back to last week, Mount Panorama, we had Joshua Anderson in first place, Adam Newton in second place, and Joshua Burden in third place. It was definitely an action-packed race at Mount Panorama, Bathurst. So if we have a look at the championship standings before drop rounds, we've got Adam Newton in first place, Martin Silvasi, who has been just super consistent, I guess we can say, for Apex Mafia Racing. He's in where we sit going into obviously round 9, only 3 rounds to go. It's going to be a pretty close championship. We said it many times before, nobody's won this championship twice in a row. And to be honest, if we end up moving to Formula Renault, this could be the last season of official SMAC. So it could go unto where there hasn't been a dual champion. So that'll be really interesting towards the end of the season. In the teams events, or in the teams championship, we've got Element Motorsport with Hamilton and Newton in first place. GT Amiga 1 with Edwards and Burton in second spot. Apex Mafia Racing 1, Salvasi and Simon in third place. And Sunray Racing Sports in seventh place in the teams championship. Another retirement, Jake Maloney. So we've had probably about 5 or 6 retirements at this stage. Quick shout out to Gary Hamilton, sporting the new livery, Win the Day. It's a fundraising, cancer fundraising group. So if you can support that group, it's for a great cause. I think just about everyone's been affected by cancer in some way, shape or form, be it family member, a friend or someone they know. So if you want to find out how to help, and just PM Gary Hamilton, and I'm sure he'll send you in the right direction. But it's great to see him supporting fundraising for battle against cancer.
All right, after some technical difficulties, we are back. Well, Andrew's been here, I haven't.
I hope I've been here because I've just been waffling on.
There was a little bit of an outage, but yeah, my sound wasn't working for a bit after my computer crashed, so you were by yourself for a while, probably talking to yourself.
But that's not unusual, mate. That's not unusual.
But no, we're back on board now. So Benjamin Smith currently in the lead, followed by Gary Hamilton and Michael McCabe in third place. So nothing's changed up the front there. And yeah, just going back to what you were talking about, Andrew, it's good to see Gary getting some kind of a cause like that, and he's looking for support. Certainly get out there and give some support if you can.
Yeah, look, I think this is a great vehicle for supporting certain groups and charities. So if you've got one in mind or you want us to give it a plug, let us know. I mean, we're all about supporting those, and if we can get some people behind that and, you know, get some donations going to help, I think it's definitely worthy of a mention.
Yep, that's definitely a good point there. A few lonely battle packs back in the race. Got Aaron Pearce and Philip Stoneman here battling for 16th, 17th. I've lost all my pit stop information, so I've got no idea who's pitted anymore and where they are. Craig Edwards is back here in 11th place. I'm assuming he's probably made a pit stop. He's got Josh Anderson and Josh Rogers ahead of him at the moment.
Yeah, what looked to be a battle pack of about 10 to 12 drivers is it looks like it's sort of withered away down to about 4, but that would be the result of a lot of guys pitting. So we'll obviously see them come back out on the track, and when these guys pit, I think that battle pack will close back up, and we'll see some really good racing towards the end of the race.
Yeah, it's one thing the pit stops tend to do. It does break up the pack a little bit. But as you said, we've still got these front guys need to make their stops, and we'll get a better idea of where the field actually sits after that. We've got Josh Anderson, I can tell, has pitted. He's 30 seconds off the lead of the race, with Josh Rogers riding behind him. So these guys, I'm sure they'll be wanting to work together, won't want to fight or battle, to try and make sure that they stay in touch with the leaders, so they'll be in a good position once those leaders do pit.
Let's have a little talk about Element Motorsport, Hamilton and Newton. I mean, it's a really strong team. I mean, these guys, when they're racing, they've had a couple of races where they've missed, but when they're racing, these guys are in the top 5 all the time, and obviously that's the result of that. They're in the top place of the team's championship, but they're going to be really hard to beat. But not too far behind them is Edwards and Burton, another really strong pairing for GT Amiga 1. So I think realistically, the team battle, for the Battle Championship, or the Team Championship, sorry, will be between those two teams. And then it's a massive battle for the final step on the podium for the Teams Championship.
It looks like both Gary and Adam have chosen to pit at the same time from the lead of the race, with Michael McCabe joining them. He's put in, and that's left Benjamin Smith out in front by himself. So he's got his Lance Perkins in there in second place. It's actually a bit of a surprise to myself. Like he did qualify well, and he has had pace here this week in practice. So yeah, it's great to see Lance up there, a name that we might not normally see every week, but he's certainly a quick driver.
Yeah, that's right. I was in a session with him on Monday, Trent, and having a bit of a chat to him. He's a really nice fellow. He really put in some fast laps down. I mean, I think he was doing a 141 without draft. Because when I got in there, he was the only car in there, and he'd already set that time. So I don't know how he would have got a draft if there was no one else in there. But yeah, he was very quick.
Yeah, he's definitely. I believe he's an ERA driver as well, which we haven't seen a lot of ERA cars in the series this season. I think they've been off doing other things, including the OSR F1 series that Simon Black runs over there. So yeah, it's good to see him in here. It looks like Ben Smith's taking this opportunity to pit, as well as Lance Perkins. So we'll keep an eye on them and where Gary Hamilton and the rest of the field come in relation to their pit stops.
Yeah, it is good to see at least a one ERA car in. We know their stable of drivers. I mean, they've got some enormous talent, so it's not a surprise to see Lance on pace.
It looks like these guys are just coming around the last corner now, heading down front straight. Ben Smith's finished his pit stop and is on his way out of the lane. Interesting, looks like they're going to be definitely ahead of Lance Perkins, but oh no, they're ahead of Ben Smith as well. So Gary Hamilton is probably the big winner out of all of that. Yeah, probably just been held up. Oh no, it's Josh Rogers. Being held up slightly behind Ben Smith there, but they'll get the draft behind Gary and I'll catch him very shortly.
I don't know how accurate this is from what I'm seeing, Trent, but I'll just run through the list of retirements at the moment. We've got Richard Craig. On the timing sheet, he's 4 laps down. Jake Maloney, Aaron Osborne, Rob Gray, Hayden Dodman, Michael Barron, Jason Bentz, and Sam McLeod. It's quite a list there of retirements.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for all those guys, and it looks like after those pit stops, we've certainly got that big battle pack again at the front of the Australian 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars, all pretty much battling for the win.
Yeah, this is what we want to see to the end, isn't it? This is lap 13 of lap 19 laps, so we've got probably 5.5 laps to go, and we'll see this battle probably play out to the end of the race. I think all these guys have probably pitted by now, or a majority of them have.
So yeah, these top 7 cars are covered by 2 seconds, so it's still anyone's game. But we know who the drivers, the quick drivers are, and that's pretty much actually all of them, you could probably say. Gary Hamilton's a race winner. Josh Rogers, I'm not sure if he's won a race this season, but he's always there or thereabouts. Ben Smith, I'm pretty sure he's been a previous SMAC winner. Josh Anderson, we know, is a winner, and Michael McCabe, we know, is quick too. So got Adam Newton and Craig Edwards, obviously also quick drivers, but the worst win still for Craig Edwards. It's not his race this week either. It doesn't look like he's quite got the pace to match Gary Hamilton this round.
Yeah, I don't know how we missed it actually. Benjamin Smith's from ERA as well, so 2 ERA guys here. Oh, geez, there's some tyre touching going on there between, I think it was Joshua K. Rogers and Benjamin Smith. Very close racing, but these guys do it all the time, so that's probably not a surprise to them.
Almost 3 wide coming out into the, I don't even know what corner that is, the heel of the boot, I think it is. Yeah, very close. I can't believe how close this pack is actually. It's
I think these 7 cars, it's going to be between these 7 cars, and I think going to be on the end of our seat at the end of this. I'm just hoping that it goes like this to the end of the race, and there's no dramas.
I really apologise to all the drivers further back in the pack, but yeah, it doesn't, not quite often that you get a seven-way fight for essentially the lead of a race. So we're just keeping an eye on these guys up front, and yeah, where I can, I'll certainly move back further in the field to try and catch up with people. Looks like Lance Firkin was a bit of a loser out of that pit stop there. He's found himself back in ninth place now, some 3 seconds off the lead. So still there or thereabouts, but if we look a little bit further back, David Jennings looks like he might have had a bit of a. He was right behind Josh Burden at that point, but yeah, he's found himself a bit of a lone driver. He's got a small battle pack here with Aaron Pearce, Sean Watts, and Andrew Kiss, I think it is, Phil Gadd. Sorry to everyone, I'm not recognising some of these paints. So we'll get back up the front. 3, 4 wide, down the back straight. Oh, there's a touch.
I hope there's no damage on that, and then get back straight back into the race. But that was a fairly hard hit.
I think, yeah, that was a pretty substantial hit. I'd be very surprised if they're not damaged to, if not one, both of those cars. Didn't quite go back far enough there. Looks like he's made contact with Ben Smith, who's, to be fair, it's just a racing incident, but yeah, definitely unfortunate. It looks like he did get away with it, just a small tap, lost control a little. And he's managed to keep on his way. So we'll see whether or not, he's still not out of his race, he's still just behind Craig Edwards. Back to live pictures now.
Some cars running really wide into turn 1. Probably just getting caught a little bit in that draft and outbraking themselves, taking a little bit of time.
There's certainly no export track limits there. It's very, very wide, and certainly allows drivers to do that.
It's a pretty tough corner if you do go wide there, Trent, because as you come on, if you don't get on in time, there's quite a little bit of a dip there that can actually probably damage the underside of the car.
Not to mention you get the off track, and the drivers only get the 20 incidence points per race. An incident point, you get those from certain indiscretions. You got contact again. I don't know who that was. Adam Newton.
Go ahead, man.
Back at the replay at the moment. Adam Newton, I can't see who the other car is. Is that Ben Smith? Seems to have disappeared from the timing. They've made contact, and a pretty substantial crash for the two of them, and that's certainly going to either take them out of the race or put them well down the order. It looks like, yes, it is Ben Smith is the other car.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. It seems to have broken up the pack just a little bit. Obviously, the top 3 still going for it. Really surprised to see Joshua Anderson in the lead, not because he's slow at all, but he was a little bit down the order before, probably about 5th or 6th. So I guess the incidents and maybe a pit stop and some strategies really played out well for him.
I believe he was our race winner last week.
That's great.
Yeah, so he'll be coming off that win with a fair bit of confidence. Yeah, and he'll be wanting to go for the win this round as well.
I think it's going to be really interesting. We're lap 17, so we've got 2 laps to go. Down that straight that we've just gone through, that last lap, where would you want to be? That's. I think that's going to. But you've still got most of the lap to go, so.
Yeah, I think most of the drafting is going to happen down that main straight after the S's. I think the other 2 straights are probably not quite long enough to get the run, unless you really sort of throw it down the inside, and these drivers are probably going to be fairly defensive in the way they handle themselves.
I think for me, I'd like to be in maybe second place going down that straight, because once you get in first, you know it's going to be hard for them to pass for the rest of the track. You can do a little bit of defensive driving, and there's no real draft until the end. So I don't know. Maybe that's what they'll be thinking.
Just see the lap car just get out of the way there. Very, very smart move from that lap car. Doesn't want to get involved in this battle for the lead. Come across the line. 2 laps to go. Anybody's race still.
Yeah, and as we said before, you know, we're getting to the pointy end of the championship, so these points are crucial. As we said before, without applying drop rounds, we've got Gary Hamilton currently in 4th position. My guess he's going to be up the pointy end after we take the drop rounds out. Craig Edwards is in 5th. Adam Newton is in 1st place at the moment. So, you know, Joshua K. Rogers in 10th. Get a good result here, and that could boost him right up there towards the pointy end.
There's not a big point separation either between each position as we go down the field. The main thing is the winner gets 3 bonus points, including the points that they would get for the win. Second place gets 2 bonus points, and third place gets 1 bonus point for just to reward the podium places. But otherwise, the point spread is still not. They're still very even throughout the field. So you might lose a position or 2 and it's still okay points, but getting those podiums is still pretty good because you get those extra bonus points.
Yeah, before drop rounds, between 1st and 2nd is only 22 points difference. So, you know, those 3 bonus points are really, really important. Just a quick update on retirements. Sam McLeod, Jason Bentz, Michael Barron, Hayden Dodman, Rob Gray, Aaron Osborne, Richard Craig. Looks like Mitchell McLeod might be our latest retiree as well.
It looks like Ben Smith, I don't have him showing up on track either, so...
No, you're correct, yep.
Yeah, fighting for the win earlier, and he was involved in that altercation with Adam Newton, who is back on track in 21st position at the moment.
Mark Espley as well, he's also retired from the race.
Well, we started our last lap. Josh Anderson's got quite a lead, actually, coming into this last lap, but I don't think that's where you really want to be. Just going to give Gary Hamilton pretty much free draft in this whole straight. Although there's a lap car up ahead, making a draft, but you can see the draft's already coming into effect. Gary's just absolutely brilliant. Michael McCabe's in his draft as well. This is going to be quite interesting to get down the end of this straight. 4 wide.
Watch for Joshua Anderson's defensive driving. He's probably renowned for making his car probably 3 times as wide on the last lap, but doing it in a fair way as well.
He's 2 by 2 side by side behind the leader. This is all just playing into the hands of Josh Anderson here, so they're certainly not mixing it up. Craig Edwards is back there too. Oh, contact. Josh Rogers is around. He's going to be kicking himself with that. Only a few more turns to go. Josh Anderson currently in the lead. Gary Hamilton in 2nd place. Michael McCabe 3rd. Michael Hammond's come from out of nowhere into 4th position, and Craig Edwards in 5th place. I don't think anyone's going to get near him now. Josh Anderson, half a second lead as they come towards the line.
Yeah, he'll be taking that win, and deservedly so.
Although, what's happened here is he run out of fuel. He's run out of fuel.
Oh, major upset, major upset.
Wow.
Look at that.
Wow.
You would not have picked that.
No, he had that race won. It was done and dusted. And
yeah, I don't think Joshua was very happy with himself at all.
Wow.
He's going to have words with his pit crew about that.
So it looks like Gary Hamilton... Although my timing's still saying that Josh Anderson won the race, but we'll flash up our...
On my scoreboard, I've got Gary Hamilton, Michael McCabe, and Josh Anderson.
We'll run through the full results shortly. Just watching everyone else finish the race now. Yeah, well done to everybody. He's going to be absolutely kicking himself after that one.
I mean, that's it comes down to, isn't it? I mean, you just try to milk as much time or as less time in the pits by taking that tiny little bit of less fuel. It doesn't always work out.
And his pit stop was 7/10 of a second faster than Gary Hamilton, so that's 7/10 of a second less fuel potentially that he's put in that car, and that could have now potentially what he saved 7/10 in the race has now cost him. Sorry, in the pit stops has now cost him probably a little bit more than that in the actual race itself.
What a gamble. He'll be kicking himself for that.
That was his race to win, pretty much.
Or to lose.
Or to lose, yeah, sorry. Alright, looks like the last few cars are coming across the line. And that will be it. Ben Wilkinson is the last two across the line. Ben Wilkins is actually a new signing to G&T Racing for the season. He'll be running out the season with G&T Racing, so it's good to see him joining a team and try and help him nurture his talent and try and give him feedback and all that sort of stuff. So it's good to see him. All
Yeah,
right.
I hear a rumour that there probably a big contingent of G&T drivers in the championship next season. Just a rumour. It's going around pits a bit and in the paddock, but we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, we could see the return of a few drivers that have sat out the last few seasons. So yeah, certainly be interesting to see how that turns out for those guys. All right, we'll go through our results. Now we do have Gary Hamilton in first place, Michael McCabe second, with Joshua Anderson in third. Now he was only 4/10 off the lead, so had he taken that extra fuel, that might not have been the case. So condolences go out to Joshua Anderson.
I can verify Joshua Anderson is absolutely devastated. I think the words "I can't believe it," "I'm speechless" are coming in on the text channel. So
Uh,
yeah, very unlucky.
that's a real shame for him. Michael Herman come home fourth place. Yeah, like I say, he came out of nowhere. Michael did. He was pretty much at the back of the top 10 for most of that race, and a few incidents in front of him, but he certainly had the pace and he was right there as well. Craig Edwards in fifth, so another good points haul for him. Lance Perkins we saw running really well earlier in sixth place. Josh Rogers, we saw the altercation, I think it was with, I can't remember who the driver was. Josh Rogers, seventh place. David Pegley in eighth. Good result for him. G&T Racing. Joshua Burden and David Jellings round out the top 10. Scott Goodman in 11th. Excuse me. TJ Brown in 12th. Aaron Pearce 13th. Andrew Kiss in 14th. 15th was Philip Stoneman. Sean Watts in 16th place. Phil Gadd in 17th. Brock Kramer in 18th place. Troy Burgess, we saw earlier with the blown engine, come back for 19th, and Greg Sharp in 20th position. Adam Newton, we come back to 21st place, still on the lead lap. Grant Hines in 22nd, and Ben Wilkinson was a very good 23rd place. He started right near the back, actually. Ben Daly Jr., 24th, a lap down. We've got Bradley Masterton in 25th. Paul Smith in 26th, Lance Hawes in 27th, Brandon Sue, who also started right at the back of the field, in 28th, Joseph Falcamata in 29th, and Reginald James in 30th position. James Jones in 31st. In 32nd, we have Mark Espley. Benjamin Smith in 33rd. Looks like these are our starts of our DNFs. Mitchell McLeod, 34th. Richard Craig in 35th. Jake Maloney in 36th. Aaron Osborne, 37th. Rob Gray, 38th. Hayden Dodman, 39th. And Michael Barron in 40th place. Got Jason Bentz in 41st. And Sam McLeod doesn't look like started the race in 42nd place. Right, that was
Yeah,
a bit of an exciting race, especially the ending. Really unfortunate for Joshua, but yeah, that's how it goes, I guess.
I think this statement says it all from Joshua Anderson. Just if I took 20 milliseconds more fuel.
Yeah, that's pretty true, actually. That's how close it really was. Oh, we've got a few people down there for interviews. Oh, we've got our race winner down there, so we'll bring him up and have a bit of a chat.
Might have been
Sorry, Gary.
You're
Welcome to the Slipstream commentary box, mates. Wow, congratulations on a win that you probably didn't think you would have got.
Thanks, Trent. Definitely not not coming in those last couple of corners. I was very happy after that race with the second place. I got a bit of a surprise at the end.
Yeah, I was calling it a couple of corners ago. I said, no, they're not going to catch him. Josh Anderson's got this one in the bag. And then he seemed to do something weird coming out of that last corner. I'm like, hang on, he's slowing down here. And sure enough, it looks like he's run out of fuel. But hey, mate, you were there to take the victory. So yeah, congratulations on just being there. And well, you're pretty much there the whole race, really. But yeah, really congratulations on the win.
Yeah, thanks. Look, that was basically the plan. Really, had a good quali, and then a race like Watkins, of course, it's going to be just a super toe fest going on. So, I mean, even if you're top 10, you'll be all right to stay there. But the plan was just to run at the front, just try and keep clean, and just basically get what result I got. But yeah, I mean. The race started getting a bit exciting there at one stage. You're trying to not, block, but depending where you are in the race, you don't want to let too many people through in the toe. So, yeah, it got pretty fun.
I might hand you over to Andrew. Andrew, you've got some questions for Gary.
Yeah, hi Gary, mate. Congratulations. It definitely wasn't expected. We expected you to be at the pointy end, but at the end of that race, we really thought Joshua had it. But mate, this really put your campaign back on track. I'm sure we don't know the points yet, but you're not too far from the pointy end. So it's starting to look really good for you. You've had a missed round, I believe, and probably some mixed results always up near the pointy end. But you've got to be happy with this win. It's got to give you some confidence going into Summit Point next week.
Yeah, I mean this is ideal. Obviously, it's always ideal to win, but in regards to the points, I think I'm about fourth place at the moment, uncorrected for the drop round. So. Yeah, that does work really well because, like you said, I missed a round. So, missing a round as opposed to just placing badly in a round, that works out in your favour as such if you have to drop a round. So, I think, that it'll be interesting to see the points after this. I think should be right up near the front, which would be nice.
Yeah, and look, we expect probably Craig not to be too far behind you, but yeah, it's going to be really exciting. Look, mate, I want to mention your new livery on your car. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that and what it stands for?
Yeah, so it's called Win the Day. A good friend of mine up in Townsville, he's part of that. He started that. So g'day, Chris. If you're out there watching, I believe he is tonight. Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of people out there have to battle cancer, and Chris did, and he beat it. And while he was fighting it, he came up with that logo. Basically for him, it was just take each day and win each day. So he came up with that, win the day, and to his credit, after beating it, he wants to do something to help. So they've come up with some really cool clothes that are going to come out, like some shirts and hats, and I'm sure they'll expand their apparel. But if you'd like to know a little bit more about it, yeah, jump on to, I know they've got a Facebook page so far called Win the Day. Got some pretty cool logos. I don't know if you noticed the cheeky little ones I was running on the wing and on the rest of the car, but you can get some apparel with that logo on it, and it's for a good cause, so good on them.
Yeah, that's a great cause. I mean, just about everyone's been affected in some way, shape or form, so that's a really good cause to get behind. So for anybody listening out there, jump on that Facebook page, give it a like, and spread it around, spread the word around. Mate, congratulations. Really good to see you back. Looking forward to Summit Point.
Absolutely. I love that track. not just saying that to annoy anyone that I'm going to race, but I know some people hate it, and I love it.
Cycling's already started, eh?
Yep.
Yeah, no, it is a great track. We were there first time, I think, last season, and I really enjoyed that race. It's a small track, it's a short track, it's more like a club track rather than an international race track. So it's not very wide, it's quite technical, and we always see a lot of action there, so we're really looking forward to it. Mate, congratulations again, and look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks, Andy, and thanks, Trent. And just one big shout out to all the guys in that race at the sort of top 5. Brilliant stuff. Really good racing, really close. I hope it looked good on the broadcast, because that was good stuff. Good, exciting.
It certainly was. And once again, congratulations to Gary, and thanks for coming in for a chat.
Thank you.
All right, Josh Burden's down there, who finished in ninth place. We'll bring him up and you can have a chat to him, Andrew.
Hey Josh, welcome to the commentary box. It's ninth place in the race, 13th on the grid. How you feel about the result?
Yeah, not too bad. Could have been probably another place higher, but yeah, that's what it is. Me and Dave Pegler, I think it was, we had a bit of a coming together, so almost rolled the car. So I was kind of with that wheel-to-wheel contact, so I was kind of lucky to kind of stay on for ninth and keep going without any damage.
Yeah, you had a really good result. At podium finish, third place at Bathurst last week, so you probably come in here with a fair bit of confidence. Did you do much practice for this track? Is it a favourite track of yours, or did you struggle out there?
It's kind of 50-50. I don't hate it, but it's definitely not one of my favourites. Struggled a little bit. So yeah, I was kind of surprised to come home in the top 10. Definitely wasn't expecting that. Definitely helped that Mitch crashed out of turn 1 and Bernie Smith had that coming together. So that definitely helped. But yeah, you couldn't take the top 10 one week after not doing a bucket load of practice.
Yeah, and we've said it many times before. I think a top 10 in this series is almost like a top 5. I mean, it's the difference in times between first and 15th is very minimal, so the competition is really stiff. Your teammate Craig Edwards, I think, was in 5th position. That's a good haul of points for the team's championship. You guys are currently sitting in 2nd in the team's championship. A strong running from you guys, another haul of points. Adam Newton didn't have a great race tonight. I think he had an incident with Benjamin Smith somewhere in that race. So with Gary Hamilton taking out the win, obviously score some decent points for the team championship. But you and Craig getting some good points for the team. So I think you might close that gap up a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. Craig definitely didn't have the world's best run with lap cars. He came out of the pits and everyone was trying to race him who kind of hadn't pitted yet. So yeah, he was a bit annoyed with that because you thought he would have gotten up the front there a bit more. So yeah, it is what it is, but just consistent results is what we're doing at the moment. So we'll see how the championship plays out, drop rounds and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we should have those results up by the weekend with the drop rounds. So it'll be really interesting to see and give people a bit of an idea of, I guess, where they want to be and where they are. We're off to Summit Point next week. What do you feel about Summit Point?
Yeah, I love it. Actually, last season I kind of made a bit of a comeback at that track and finished top 10, I believe. So a strong track for me. I know Craig was pretty strong there last year, but he had an unfortunate incident, so it should be a good one for the team, I think.
What are your thoughts about the Formula Renault? Are you excited about that coming out, or maybe a bit sceptical? And what do you think it would mean for this series? Are you pro Formula Renault, or would you like to see, or at least drive the car and see how it feels for you?
Yeah, I can't wait for the Renault. It's going to be good to have kind of an updated wings and slicks car. Starting as this a few years old now, probably doesn't quite have the downfall, so to speak, of what a current wings and slicks car would, even though they still run Star Master in real life. The car's a few years old on ice now, so yeah, it would definitely be good. In terms of what's going to happen with SMAC, I'm not sure what I'd like. I'd still like to have a Star Master series, that's for sure. So I know the talk want about running it mixed class series, so yeah, that could work, I think.
Yeah, I'd like to see the SMAC organisers come up with making the cars 25% more louder next season, but I don't really think that's going to happen. But I do like the sound of the Formula Renault. I think that will sound a lot better than the Star Mazda, but you can't go past the racing. I mean, we've seen some great racing, and we've still got three rounds to go. We're just going to see some further great racing, so we're really excited about that, mate. It's a good result, a good haul of points for the team. Mate, is there anybody you want to have a shout out to? Any sponsors and teammates?
Yeah, all the guys at Fusion Sim Racing, GT Omega, Daco, Powerbond, Nulex, and some instruments. And Craig and Rock Kramer for jumping in as well.
Great, mate. Thanks very much for coming up and having a chat.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Josh, and congrats on the top 10, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Alright, we've got David Pegler down there from G&T Racing, who finished, I lost my results, another top 10. He was in 8th position ahead of Josh Burden, and he's just disappeared. So I'm guessing you're not coming up there, David.
You got a bit shy, maybe.
Maybe. So we'll get Ben Wilkinson up here, new G&T Racing driver, who started right down the field and come back with just outside the top 20, I believe. So get him up and have a bit of a chat.
Hey Ben, welcome to the commentary box, the interview box, mate. How you going?
Yeah, mate, I'm doing good.
Mate, I hear you've joined a new team. That's going to be pretty exciting. And I can see you've had a pretty good result. You started on 37th on the grid. You came home 23rd, so you're going to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah. I joined G&T Racing earlier this week. So it's good to be part of the team. They're very welcoming and they're welcoming me on board. So that's good. I knew I wasn't going to qualify very well. I was just hoping I could make up spots in the race, and I did that. So, yep, A+ for me.
Yeah, you've got a good record of that. Probably something to work on is your qualifying, but that comes with experience and seat time in the car. This is only your first season, so you're doing well on that. But you're always finishing above where you're starting. So I mean, that's always a good result.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just about patience, really. Now, obviously, there's going to be people that are going to be faster than me, and there's no point holding them up. So just let them go, and if there's a battle, battle it out. But at the end of the day, you don't want to crash. So I'd rather, if someone's faster than me, I'd rather let them go, and rather than hold on to them and make them make a rash decision. So.
Yeah, absolutely, and as you go on, you get more experience with the guys that you're racing with. You'll know who you can battle safely and who maybe you need to give a bit more room to, and that comes. I mean, but you're finishing races. That's the most important thing. I mean, so that's fantastic. I think you've done a handful of races and you finished just about all of them. So mate, well done. Mate, Summit Points, is it a track that you've done much racing on? It's obviously a free track that comes with iRacing, so I think everyone's probably had a go on it. What's your experience on Summit Point?
Yeah. I obviously rookie managers, and I think Skip Barber does Summit Point as well. So yeah, but probably one of the more common tracks for me. Get quite a lot more familiar with Summit Point than something like Watkins Glen. I haven't really done much racing at Watkins Glen, and that probably showed from my lap times. But yeah, no, a bit more familiar with Summit Point for sure.
Yeah, look, I mean, most people use the first season in SMAC's a bit of a learning curve, not just for the car itself and the new tracks and tracks that I haven't been to before, but obviously also to learn the competitors. How are you finding racing the guys? They're giving you enough room? I mean, these guys are hard racers, but everyone seems to be pretty fair out there.
Yeah. I had a really good battle with Brandon for a while. I don't know if you put into that on the broadcast. We were battling for about 3 or 4 laps, and we unfortunately had a bit of coming together, but that's okay. There's no malice in it, and so that was fine. But the racing's good. I just need to catch up to all the aliens, and then I'm sure I'll have a lot more battles. But I just need to work on my speed, and so it's like, and I'm sure once I do that, I'll get up to the pack, and I'll start competing with some of these aliens.
Yeah, mate. I think your team will probably help you. I think there's a guy on the team called Hollywood. He might be able to give you some driving tips. He's fairly fast. But mate, it's good to see you on track. Good to see that you've got a team. Looking forward to seeing you at Summit Point. Is anyone you want to have a shout out to?
Yep. To all of the guys at GNT Racing, they've really helped, and they've welcomed me on board with open arms, and they've been really helpful and kind, and that's fantastic to see. And I guess all of our sponsors of the team, sponsors definitely adds that much. That's much more realism to racing when you have great sponsors, and I may be bringing a sponsor on board soon, so watch this space.
Excellent, mate. Look, it's always good to talk to you, and we'll be talking to you, I'm sure, the next couple of rounds, mate. So good luck for Summit Point, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. Don't blame me if I'm not at Summit Point, because I'm actually moving Thursday, so I'll definitely try to make the race. But it just depends if I get my internet connected then. So fingers crossed it's up, but if not, it'll be the week after for sure.
No worries, mate. Take it easy.
Thanks, Ben, and we'll catch you next time, mate. Well done.
Thanks, guys.
Alright, that only leaves race control now to come up for interview, so we'll move them
Do
up.
we have to?
Unfortunately, yes, we do. We'll never hear the end of it otherwise. So we'll bring up Scott Connors and Matt Wilkins and see what they have to say. G'day, Scott and Matt. How was the race there from race control point of view?
Pretty crazy. I don't know what's Matt's doing. I don't know. He's doing what Matt does. So he's muted. But yeah, the race out there tonight was pretty out there. There was some really good racing out there tonight, which is awesome to see. Watkins Glen's good at that, especially the classic boot with the draft plays such a big part in it. Like I'm sure you saw, massive train for the lead, and you didn't really know who won it. And then like I called and I said, "Oh, Josh has wrapped this up and won it," and before 2 corners to go, and then Matt's blown up over the radio, said run out of fuel, so we had a little excitement at the end of the race, which was nice after a serious bad race. There was a few silly moves from a particular person, which we'll deal with afterwards, which we won't get into now. We'll deal with that after the race and give him the according penalties. But other than that, there was awesome race out there from most people, so it's good to see, and I'll look forward to next week.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I'm just bringing up a replay now of Josh Anderson coming around the last corner, and you should be able to hear. Yeah, we can hear the car stuttering now.
I'm sure he won't want you to keep replaying that footage.
No, I don't mind.
It was very close there. He'll be absolutely fuming. So sorry, Joshua, but we had to show the viewers what happened there, mate. But yeah, he saved himself 7/10 of a second in his pit stop, but lost by 4/10 of a second. So yeah, would he have still won had he stayed in the pits for those extra few tenths of a second? We'll never know, I guess.
Yeah, I believe the words he used after the race was "I'm speechless." So I'm sure you're loving seeing and hearing the car sputtering like that and reliving that for you. So
Let's see if I can do an instant replay, and I'll do it a second time there for you, Josh. No, I won't do that. That's just plain mean. But yes, we were
Doesn't
watching.
sound like you at all.
No, of course not. But no, we were calling the race, and we said a few corners to go, and like this race is Josh's for sure. And then I noticed it was a bit slow coming around that final corner. I'm like, he's slowing down a bit early. The start finish line, I'm sure it's further down the road. And yeah, it turned out he'd had run out of fuel, which is mighty unfortunate for him.
I'd already done the results sheet and I had to redo it. I mean, that was quite annoying. But look, race control. You guys had some issues with voice chat last week at Bathurst. Got a bit out of control. What action did you take this week to combat that?
well, I think I said in last week's broadcast we actually did a little test.
Oops.
Thanks for that, Matthew, for watching TV and being doing a great interview.
I thought that was Matt's real voice, actually.
Yeah, Okay, where was I? I've completely lost track. That's where I was. All right. Yeah, I thought I mentioned it in last week's broadcast. We did a little test at the end of the race with most people to see if we could actually have, excuse me, voice chat disabled and still have the admins to talk, and that was the case. So now I was actually meant to post this in the forums, but I may have forgot about that. But we won't go over that. So now what we do, the procedure is we'll mute the drivers chat when drivers are on the grid, and it will be muted until the last car on the lead lap crosses the start finish line. And it's I must say it was much better not hearing any silly voice comms that was not needed. So it's a good change, and I think it's a change for the best. And it'll be interesting to see what the feedback from the drivers are.
I guess that gives you guys a better chance to concentrate as well. I mean, it can get quite busy noise-wise when people are ranting and raving over the radio. I mean, we do know that if you get taken out or there's an accident, and in the heat of the moment, you can get emotional and start, going off over the radio with no malice intended. But that can also take a lot of concentration off you guys trying to look at incidents or actually, call the race in regards to race control.
Yeah, and sometimes it actually somewhat helps when they like say something over the voice comms, because you can actually go, oh, something's happened there, so you jump to there and go see what happens, and like in that way, I suppose you don't miss it, but like because you're always going to miss that one or two. You're not going to get them all. It's just impossible. You don't have enough eyes to see every single incident that happens. So in that aspect, it sort of works. But I think that with it muted, it's for the best.
Driver of the night.
Oh, put me on the spot. Put me on the spot tonight.
I know Trent's going to put me on the spot, so I'll put you on the spot.
I don't even have the results open. That's unfortunate. You just do yours and come back, and I'll have one.
Look, I really don't know. It's a hard one, to be honest. But I think Trent mentioned Mike Hammond came from nowhere to get fourth place, so I'm sort of leaning towards him.
Yeah, I'm sort of the same.
That's
I
actually
do
where I was
remember.
going too. So we're actually in agreement from the driver of the night for once.
Oh my god, that's
right.
a bloody miracle.
Better
Yeah,
check my lotto ticket.
I believe he was about P8 starting the last lap. He was somewhere P7, P8, and out of nowhere he's come out and scavenged a fourth, which is top. I did say, I said he's in the box seat if anything happened, and a few things happened the last couple laps, and he's gone. He's just gone straight up the field, and if he was up there a bit further, he might have been up there passing Josh for the win, but it just gives you that more motivation for the next race to put in more practice and get up there even further and try and get that better result.
Josh Anderson's drive, I think, because he didn't actually start near the front. He drove his way to the front. So he's certainly a contender for drive of the night. Maybe not for pit stop of the night, but possibly for drive of the night for sure.
Field strategy of the night. Yeah. Look, I think the only downside for me tonight was that the audio cut out when possibly said something intelligent. So this is a bit of a downer for me. It doesn't happen very often, but I'm sitting here chatting, thinking I'm doing making some intelligent remarks, but I think I actually wasn't talking to anyone.
It was actually quite handy because my computer actually did crash and completely rebooted. I didn't even think you even realised that I'd left and come back, and here I am, and Andrew's chatting to himself. But it was good because you sort of still commentating the race while we're getting our live pictures back up and running. So that was quite good to still have that commentary going.
You missed my best work as well. I'm really devastated.
Alrighty, looking ahead, we have. I'll get rid of this. Round 8, so we finished
Probably
round
more
8.
races.
Yeah, it's probably. Who invited him?
You sure?
Round 9, Summit
That's all
Point
we're doing this
Raceway next week. Summit Point Raceway, we raced there last season, and it turned out to be pretty good racing.
I wasn't listening to some of that.
Round 10, we got Suzuki International East Course So that's not the full track. That's the basically the front straight and the S's and back again. So it's only still fits 60 cars. So we're still undecided how many splits we're going to have there. Um, Spa, another draft track, pretty draft intensive. Usually creates some pretty good racing too. Nice and wide, really flowing, which seems to suit these cars a lot, as well as the tight tracks like Summit Point. And of course, our round 12 season finale back at Phillip Island. Well, I think we've finished there 3 or 4 times out of 5 seasons now. So seems to be a popular track with the drivers, and especially for a season finale, it always produces some pretty good racing. Um, I think that's about it for tonight, so we'll wrap it up. Any final thoughts from anybody?
I
It's,
hate being left last. Always leave race control last, Trent. You got to interview us first, mate.
No, mate, no. Race control. Drivers are more important than race
If
control.
if we did race control first, we'd lose all our viewers. So you know.
I
Pretty
actually,
close
I
to you guys.
sort of
think
have
you
to agree with you on
gain.
that one because by the time we get here, it goes downhill in about 2 seconds, like it did
Yeah,
last week.
that's
It's just so you do have a point there. So I'll back you on this one and this one time only.
yeah, that's pretty
That's
much
a
it.
lie.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
Look.
final thoughts weren't intelligent, then, in other words.
It
I don't
never
think they
is.
ever are.
Never is when we're up here.
I think the final thoughts have got to go towards the Formula Renault coming out. I think everyone's a little bit excited about that. Everyone's a little bit skeptical about it. We don't know.
Came out.
We don't know what's going to happen in regards to SMAC in that regard. So that's going to be an interesting couple of weeks.
Yeah, certainly keep an eye on the forums, especially for week 13. If the car is released, it'll certainly give us a chance to do some testing with the possibility of the multi-class type thing. The only thing we have to watch for is the dilution of either class. We don't want to have 50 cars running in the Renault and like 2 in the Star Mazda. It wouldn't exactly work
Me
that
and
way.
Scott in the Star Mazda.
So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, keep an eye on the forums. It's coming up to the end of this season too, so we'll start putting out some threads for feedback on tracks for next season as well.
Just one last one, if I could, Trent. Win the day. Get over to the Facebook page, give it a like, spread it around, and get behind that great cause.
Yes, that's very true too. So on that note, we'll finish up. So thanks to Matt Wilkins and Scott Connors for race control this evening.
First mention.
No, you got mentioned earlier, but you were busy. You've been watching Slipstream, listening to Andrew Gaines. I'm Trent Thomas, and enjoy your evening.
See you later.
Love you.